Thanks for joining us tonight for a Dreamtime Transmission. Hopefully, these dreams help you drift into sleep easily. I would greatly appreciate it if you liked and subscribed before you drift off. New videos are released every night, so join us tomorrow if you like. Thank you, and good night.
From Secure Menu 6110. So for the last 2 nights, I've had the most vivid dreams that feel so realistic. I've been with my boyfriend, 21 Nimi, for coming up to 10 months, and I've never had a dream about him cheating until Wednesday night. I had a dream of found messages on his phone between him and an old friend of mine. The dream felt surreal. He woke up crying and found it hard to stop crying. So I stayed up the rest of the night. Then again last night, fell asleep and had another weird dream. It starts with me looking in the mirror and I stick out my tongue. You see a little black and white snake head and I gotta touch it. When the snake shoots back up my throat, is creamed and my boyfriend appeared. I told him I had a snake in my body and that needed to yank it out, but it was scared. He was shouting, "Just do it. Just do it." So I opened my mouth. The snake was set on my tongue. I closed my eyes and yanked it out my throat. Then immediately started to cough up blood. It felt surreal. I could taste the blood in my mouth. I closed my eyes feeling sick, but weirdly better. Then I woke up. IDK if I'm being paranoid or connecting 2 dreams that were just random dreams, but both really stuck with me. Like that type of dream you think about for the rest of the day. Anyone got any ideas?
From Acorn GBX. So about me, I have a lot of parental trauma, along with having to live for a few years in basically a forest when I was 10 to 12. Then trying to fit in since I'm autistic and extremely mixed race in Cali, now living in Tennessee for just over a year now. I'm 23, moved out of my parents, living in a small house in the woods near others, and living with some friends and their kid. A few months ago, I started having this dream. I'll use to show what parts change per dream as I keep dreaming this dream. It always starts in daytime, living what feels like another ME's life, followed by a argument, party, or some event. It leads me outside eventually. The location is the same, a more secluded house on a large hill, a statue standing down the hill in the yard next to the road, facing away. When I see it at night, I hear, in different voices, the lines, "Help me, someone needs help," and so on. When this happens, I get the feeling of bloodlust, anger, hunger, fear, pity, and numbness. As it calls to me, I stop myself, either by dying by my hand or waiting till I wake up. I feel like I don't want to know what happens if I do approach it, but I decay how long I can keep whining. I decay what the statue looks like, only that it's very vaguely humanoid.
From Alpha Lorian. First dream, I was at the airport waiting to start work. I do not actually work at the airport. While sitting on a bench, I notice a giant black millipede crawling away from me from under the bench where I was sitting. In my dream, I freaked out and checked my bag to make sure it didn't come from there. I then got up and ran away. Second dream, I was at my childhood home, and I was holding and petting and playing with a small white puppy. Third dream, I got home late from work. My wife and daughter were asleep. In my dream, I had to pee really bad, so I ended up peeing on my kitchen floor, but I peed blood. Any idea what these 3 dreams could symbolize? From DNA Writer. Hello everyone. I'm new here, and I just came to tell you this because I've seen so many videos about people not dreaming with their mobile. Well, I just had one this morning. For the context, here is a little introduction. I have a very stress and quick changing type of life. Because of my work, I have to move constantly, and my stability is no longer that a few months. So couples of weeks ago, I finished my work, and it was all made through the phone, WhatsApp, with my bosses. So speaking with others' colleagues, I know they regret their decision, and they just did it because of their ego. Well, finding this out, I've been having lots of dreams with them, and in where they or insult me or trying to make me look bad in front of others. The last part is true, Batu. So here it comes. I dreamed they was texting me, saying I leave them, and that it was my fault their company was going down, etc. The thing is, I see my cell phone, I take it when I receive the messages, unlock it, and read the text. Then I proceed to lock it again and leave it without reply, thinking like, I don't really care about what happened to you. You did this to yourself. Sue, that is. Sorry for writing so many unimportant details, but I just wanted to tell my dream. Anyway, take care everyone, and thanks for reading.
from Extra Organization 249. This may sound confusing. I will do my best describing it. Just now, I woke up from a dream. Whenever I have dreams that are particularly memorable, I write them down so I don't forget them. In this dream, from what I remember, it involved my girlfriend of 4 years sending a bunch of her selfies to a very famous real-life YouTuber. A YouTuber that I watch regularly. Not nudes, just selfies. I was watching a Q&A YouTube video he posted, and in the video, he said, "Okay, next email is from my girlfriend's email address." I was like, what the hell? I forget what she had typed in the actual text body of the email, but she sent all these hot selfies to him, and he was looking at them in the video, and his response was something along the lines of, "Woohoo, well yeah, I see why. I mean, I would too. Sheesh. I mean, absolutely, I would. Damn." Basically, just checking out my girlfriend. And I just was thinking, are you fucking kidding me? So then, still dreaming, I confronted her about it. I said, why the fuck would you do that? Like, what was going through your brain when you decided to make the effort to do this? What were you trying to gain? She just shrugged her shoulders. Now, this next part is really what convinces me that there are parallel universes to our own, and that our dreams actually are a window into these universes. Before I explain the rest of the dream, I must first explain that I had a totally different dream a while back that I had completely forgotten about, and that I would have probably never thought of again. But I was reminded of it, but not in the way you think. I'll explain. This dream, the one I forgot about, not the one I was currently having, was that she had left me for about a month, and it shattered me. She had other sexual partners during this period, which made me mourn and miss her even more. Eventually she came back. I was elated and so happy to have her back. But I never forgot about how she left me, and went out on basically a fucking frenzy for a month, then once she got her fill, came back. Here's the thing though. I did forget. The real me. The same me that's typing this. I forgot about her leaving for a month and doing these things because it literally didn't happen. It was only a bad dream. But the me inside of the dream remembered it and held on to it and used it as ammunition whenever I was confronting her about the selfie email thing. The me that exists in this alternate universe immediately thought of something that the me in this universe hadn't remembered at all. Now that I am awake, I remember having that dream where she left for a month. But I didn't until this me from an alternate reality brought it up, and I saw it through my own eyes in this parallel timeline. The version of me from the alternate universe has different memories and different life experiences. I remember in the dream, while confronting her, I began crying, and while the confrontation escalated, she argued back at me. I don't remember what exactly she said, but I screamed at her, "No, you fucking don't!" And then I said something along the lines of, "Listen to me. You were my nigga, my everything, and you left me. You left for a month. You destroyed me. I would have never done that to you." By this time, my dream was so intense that I could feel myself heavily, and I mean heavily, breathing in my physical body. So by then, somewhere in that last thing I said to her, I woke up. When I woke up, my heart was pounding, and I was still breathing heavily from the stress of the dream. I found this experience to be extremely interesting.
From Stuffberry Phobic. I know not everything I see on TV is realistic, but do people really not wake up screaming or scream in their sleep? I have these sorts of nightmares where I'm half awake and can see all the bad or scary things right next to me in my room. I've felt like screaming and tried to scream, but it never comes out, besides maybe some inward high-pitched noises with my mouth closed. These are the types of things that'll have me considering to risk it. The nightmare creature. And run to my parents' room at the age of 17.
From H8 Mayo. I'm back in college and have gotten my job back at Chick-fil-A. The kitchen is giant though, at least a lot bigger than the kitchen that was at the Chick-fil-A I used to work at, and I was situated at one end of the kitchen, at the tater tot section. Because my job was basically just plating tater tots and pouring liquid cheese on them, I would also assist with pouring lemonades and refilling the large beverage dispensers when needed. At one point, I need to bring a serving of tater tots to someone I went to high school with. I'm not doing too great at the job, and eventually, Gordon Ramsay comes to help. I need to follow him around to learn more about being in a kitchen. At one point, he had me brush his hair while we run around. He gets angry at me through most of the time I'm there. I'm then with a friend I used to have while I was in college and her husband. I don't remember much of weekday happens at the beginning of this dream, but we end up in the apartment of someone I knew in high school and are there along with 6 to 8 other people. For a short amount of time, every time I sit down and stand back up, I grow taller, eventually reaching 6.5 feet tall, more than a foot taller than I am Iral. I eventually get to my normal height, and we sit in the living room area and just talk. Towards the end, I ask my friend from college if we'll ever truly become friends again. I told her that I would change all of my social media names to my legal name rather than leave them at my preferred name, and she could call me by my legal name all she wanted. She said no, because no matter how many times she called me by my legal name, she'll always think about how I once had a preferred name on my social media.
From Bamotu. To sum it up, I was a typical Fox Mulder type in my dream, investigating the unexplained and spooky happenings. Me and my partner investigate a case involving doppelgangers, and these creatures wind up following me into my personal life, and at one point one of them, in mid-transformation, attacked me. When this happened, I had a moment of clarity that despite my very real fear, none of this was real. Not a dream, though. I realized I was just a character in a story. And it's at this realization I see my creator. A girl in her early 20s on the tanner side, long brown curly wavy hair, dark eyes, faint freckles, and casual, comfortable clothes, sitting at her desk looking through concept sketches for these doppelganger creatures. I see her clearly, vividly, as if I'm practically in the room with her, and then I wake up. The whole dream was horrifying, but that unsettled me to my core and made me question my entire existence upon waking back up. Anyone else ever had a dream like this?
From Mayonamo. In his dream, I was at a facility and with a group of people. I saw a hallway leading to a door. I recall one pointing at the stuff on the floor they had swept up. It looked like gray foam insulation. The facility here felt very familiar. It was sort of school-like. I think the dirty hallway has led to a brig-like area in other dreams. Soon I was outside. The wind picked up hard. I then instinctively leaned into it and flew seemingly around the world. I remember landing in a field after flying at a very high and undeterminable speed. I also recall someone there saying, "We have an eagle." I missed flying a lot.
From Faux Realsy. I saw someone claim on a thread recently that dreams cannot contain knowledge or information that one has not acquired from their waking state, whether consciously or unconsciously. I don't know if that's true, but it didn't pass my smell test. It's hard to pin down a precise example, as is often the case with dreams, but I feel like I have had dreams containing information that I could not possibly have obtained in my waking state. Does anyone have experience with this? Any examples? Do you know of any scientific research on this question?
From Baked Potato 4362. Before I get into the details, I want to give some background. I am a 22-year-old college student. I have some problems with sleep, so I sometimes take melatonin, but that's about it. By the way, I didn't take melatonin last night, nor have I taken it in the past few days. My dream started off where I was in bed. I was with a couple of my friends, just hanging out. All of a sudden, these things showed up. I can't even put into words what they looked like. They had 4 limbs, no face, not like anything you would see on this earth. The way they crawled and moved reminded me of the way monkeys move. When they got mad, their blank face developed this red, scary mouth-looking thing that looked like something you would see out of a sci-fi movie. Immediately, I had a bond with these creatures. They made this weird noise to communicate. Throughout my dream, they clung to me. I vividly remember having a bond and connection with them. It felt like I was almost taking care of them. There was one point where another human, I forget who, tried to harm them. They got extremely angry, and that's all I remember. Something happened. That's all I remember. Am I crazy? I don't know what this means. The specificity and detail I had in this dream scares me. I don't know what to think.
From Castival Ouroboros. About half a year ago, I dreamt of a shadow me, or sorta. And ever since then, I can't stop thinking about this weird me, and I wonder what it could mean. I'll tell the dream then, some possible things. So I dreamt I was sat in bed drawing or watching a video on my iPad when I had the urge to leave my room. My door is at the end of my bed to the left, and then there's the hall with the stairs, a 360 turning one, to the left. And as I left my room, I saw a shadow me. It looked like my murder clothes, explanation later, and there was a sort of bad aura coming from it. Identical to me in every way, except with the mask I'd made, and seemed a lot darker or evil. Moment I touched it, I woke up. My murder clothes are a joke name to a set of black clothes I have. Cargo pants, boots, hoodie, and black shirt, along with a mask of a human face, but no features, except the eyes and painted black. Now, I don't really know what this is, but here's a few stuff to maybe help. 1. I'm a lil messed up. Not being edgy, one day when I was 12, I saw my mum watching a murder documentary show. And ever since then, I just kinda went on a downward spiral to an obsession with murder, torture, etc. All things dark, and even stopped feeling empathy, shockingly enough. My mum is also emotionally abusive, so I'd like to throw that in there. I am homeschooled, but got bullied during primary school too. Still trying to work out what this dream could mean.
From Cobalt 72. Hello, I just been 3 hours with paralysis when waking up and false awakenings when falling asleep. Other days I have them for much longer. I can't anymore. I'm so dizzy. I'm so tired of having these. Please, how do I stop them? This is what I've been trying today. Counting to 3 in the dream and visualizing the last thing I saw before falling asleep. This wakes me up, but the dizziness and paralysis make me fall asleep again. Try to scream IRL, but I can't talk. Try to give up and enjoy the dreams, try to change them because they're always nightmares. But it doesn't really work because I feel dizzy in the dreams too. Give up and just wait for it to finally pass while I lose my mind in the dreams, then wake up feeling like trash. But it ruins the rest of the day because I have fibromyalgia/CF. So I will spend the next day / recovering from whatever this is.
From Twevel, I will be at a man-made looking river that has beige-colored walls. Near the river is a path that will take you to a college campus type deal with amusement park rides next to it. I will either be walking along the path or inside the dark blue tent next to the water. It'll be the only tent there. You'll let me know you're from Reddit, and you'll know it's me because I'll introduce myself as Tiki, lol. It's a far-fetched idea, but it would be fun to try. Just saying. See you there?
From Voice Pleasant 2726. Last night I had a lucid dream, where I was going to the beach with my friends. I was in a go-kart with my best friend, and when we got there off the rip, I see my ex, which puts me in a bad mood. But I've been trying to practice being more stoic, so I just focused on my friend instead of her. So we check in and go down to the beach, and we get to the rest of the people. And out of everybody in the group, me and my best friend were the only ones single NGL that kind of hurt. And I know it's a dream, but it kind of hurts seeing everybody else happy and with someone. And I'm just sitting awkwardly with my friend. It's not like I can get on my phone because it doesn't even work. It wasn't a really bad dream, but I feel like there's a message there about seeing my ex also. There were a couple of girls that ghosted me too.
From Alex Birio. I had a dream today where I was doing some sort of satanic ritual with the family, me, my brother and sister, and dad. I remember we were in the living room in pitch darkness when everyone except me got possessed by something, and then my mom walked in on us all scared. It was nighttime, and she said what was going on. And then my family started chanting, "Mirror, reflection." I joined in, even though I wasn't possessed. I then proceeded to wake up, but I woke up in the dream. It felt so normal. I even went on phone to learn about the ritual that was called blood gore, and it was based off a book by Roald Dahl. I learned that if you woke up with changed bed sheets, that means you lost. I panicked and saw that my bed sheets were changed, and the old one was on the chair that I have next to my bed. I got up from bed only to find that my new bed sheet had large scratches that no human could have possibly created. I went to check on my brother, who started choking and gasping for air, and I tried snapping him out of it, and suddenly my mom walked into my room asking what was going on, and suddenly my brother went back to normal and could breathe again. My brother told her we were playing the game, and my mom asked, "Was he acting?" referring to me. To which my brother responded, "Yes." And then my mom said, "You should have stopped him because that's how you lose the game." It was in that moment that I woke up for real and worried and scared, mostly due to this probably being my first real nightmare ever, and the fact that this was also the first I woke up in a dream. I should also note that this dream didn't start off like this. It started off like normal, just being weird, but then that normal part of the dream bled into the nightmare part. I should also note that I was an avid reader of ritual pastas, but I never had or ever will have any intention of actually doing them. I am also a strong believer in God, and I have OCD. The reason I point out that I have OCD is because I tend to worry excessively about things that aren't really there or have happened. That being said, I took a look at the dreams people in this sub have had, and now I'm even more worried of potentially this being a reoccurring nightmare, or that it potentially means something. I told my mom about this, to which she told me that she also dreamt something scary, which was me having pictures of skulls in the pupils of my eyes. My mom also told me that the only thing I can really do right now is pray, and I think that's what I'll do for now. But could this mean anything? What should I do? Please let me know. Thanks.
From Zej Temdead. I am in a big theater at first. I don't really know what my purpose is. All the people are on chairs watching a show. I am more inclined to a corner of the room at the bottom, as the theater has elevation for each row of chairs like a cinema does. Then I see a big old chair near a statue that was in the theater, and that chair seemed odd. So I take a flashlight out of my pocket and shine it on the chair, and there is the devil in a natural form, dark, ugly, etc. And I tell the people in the theater, all the people there are celebrities or very famous people like world leaders. Some of them get scared, some of them laugh and don't care, like they already knew that. Then I proceed to leave as I'm going to the exit, which now isn't just a regular door, is a whole wall missing, and there is light from outside coming in. I decide to flash the light at a celebrity, and when I put light on her, she asked me not to, and got scared, and the light revealed she had a demon. And again, some people got scared. Some laughed, but no one leaved. Only I.
From Thick Sticky Boy. It was a lot more cohesive than most of my dreams, and I swear I felt pain in it. I woke up outside this facility that said Martian something. I went inside, and it was very futuristic. Varying shades of grey with pops of orange. There were people lounging around enjoying themselves. And there was a pool. I decided to swim, but I was only in the water for a few moments when I was pulled out by a bunch of people in lab coats. They took a sample of my DNA and gave me a shot that made me pass out. When I woke up, I was laying on what looked a lot like a solar panel. There were other people beside me. When I looked around, I saw there were people all over the place on these shifting panels, and most of them looked almost exactly like me. It was like a prison. And I vaguely remember something about I was an egg, and the people in the first facility were pods, which is why I was taken away. We weren't supposed to integrate.
From O-Days. Hello, people. I don't know if this should bother me, but IDC anyway. It's been around a month and a half that I dream every night and remember it all like every single night before I hit bed. I feel so excited for sleeping and figuring out what's the dream is going to be about. Before this month and a half, for approx 3 months, I was dreaming frequently, but not every night. And I remember it all not at first, but during the day I get flashbacks about it. But now for a month and a half, every single night, most of my dreams were good, includes dear friends of mine. Some night I have more than one dream, like 2 to 3. About the bad dreams, they were scary. Wake up in the middle of those bad dreams, and I'm scared to go back to sleep. I'm used to weird, but this is a whole new level of weirdness. Hope there's someone to explain. Thanks.
From Luminol Nights. Found myself in a rural area similar to the farm I lived at with my ex-fiancé and my uncle's ranch. This redneck would follow me around and stare at me silently. He wouldn't say anything back whenever I tried speaking to him, and I said a lot, just stand there silently watching, following. When I woke up, I saw a black silhouette of the man staring at me before slowly fading away. I wonder how related shadow people are to ghosts, or if they're one and the same.
From Increase Correct 1908. Hello. English isn't my first language, so this post might not be perfect, but I had a dream with the Codex Gigas, the exact page where the supposed devil was shown, and I have no idea what it could mean. I also have dreams about things that end up happening in the future, so I honestly don't know what to think about this, because a few nights after seeing it in my dream, I found an article about it and was shocked to see what I saw was apparently the devil. Picture is what I saw, though I only saw his face, not body.
Hopefully, you aren't hearing this message because you are asleep, but if you are still awake, I would like to thank you for joining us for tonight's Dreamtime Transmission.